Peace. You are tuned into Edible Activists with your host and favorite edible activist, Melissa L. Jones. On this show, we honor Black people and their stories in food and agriculture, celebrating legacy, traditions, contributions, and creativity that all stem from the land. So tune in and let's get started. Peace. I am your host and favorite edible activist, Melissa L. Jones. Today's guest is Kayla of Konterra Life Farms, a farmer, educator, and registered dietitian who's blending soil health with human health. At her regenerative farm in Maryland, Kayla is growing nutrient-dense food while teaching others to reconnect with where their nourishment comes from. We're diving into her journey, the power of regenerative farming, and how food can be both medicine and connection. Let's get into it. Kayla, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yay!
I'm excited to be here.
Yes, likewise. I was just at your farm space a couple, maybe 2 or 3 weekends ago, and enjoyed all of my produce, my mom included. I sent you a photo of what was my birthday cake. Yes. Me and my friends had a little boat party for my birthday, and we used, and those edible flowers hold like for a very long time. I used some actually in another dessert, but I brought them with me, and that's what we decorated the cake with.
Wow. Okay. Good to know. I'm glad to hear they held up. And also happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Yes, y'all, I'm the big 4-3. It's a blessing. So I just had to kick off with that intro because I do not play with when I the guests who I interview most times I'm purchasing from them, and Kayla, Konterra Farm, y'all have some of the best produce. So I just got to say that.
Flips hair. Thank you.
You are so welcome. My mother made her greens. She loved them. The spinach was amazing. But anyway, okay, I know y'all are celebrating. Kayla, we're going to dive into getting to know you, getting to know more about the farm. And so we're going to get started. You wear 2 important hats. And while I know most of everything is farming for you, right? You are a registered dietitian. And you're a farmer. And so just want to know, what inspired you to blend these 2 worlds together, though, you're steeped into the soil every single day?
I would say farming came along after I started my journey to become a dietitian. At first, I was in school studying, and then the idea for farming came up from the family of, let's start a family farm. And I'm a very outdoorsy, earthy girl. So, I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, cool. Let's try it out. And I always was wondering at first of how can I blend that with nutrition, which it makes sense that it's food that we grow and we eat. But I feel back then I felt the dietetic space was a little bit more rigid. And I was okay, how can I blend it and not feel I'm, maybe crossing some lines, which is a weird thing to say, but that's how I felt. But then as I continued and got into my dietetic internship, I saw exactly how I could do it. I had a blueprint from my director of how I could create a practice, farm, be on farms, and things like that. And I was okay, we can make it our own. I felt more confident in doing so. So that's how it got blended. And then I finished my dietetic internship, finally became a dietitian. And then I was working in long-term care. And my dad was you should come home and farm with me. Let's we can sell it. We can do it. And I'm all right, let's do it. And my main thing when I came home was I just watched a documentary on Netflix, and watching a chef come to different farms and just the relationship they developed with that farmer and with the food they were getting. And honestly, it almost made me cry. I was this is beautiful. And they're another form of artist, just as farmers are, in my opinion. So I was I want to experience that. So that's what got me here.
Your dad plays a big role. I mean, obviously, he encouraged you and, said, come back to Maryland.
Yeah.
And farm with me. And so I've met your dad before, full of life, full of energy. But I would love you to speak further to, and we're going to get into the regenerative farming and the methods, but that your dad is like has the green thumb. Like your dad is the farmer. Like he is your educator. He is your teacher.
Yeah, yeah, he really is.
So let's just dive, into his knowledge and like his
Hmm.
experience. Your parents are from North Carolina, and I knew when I asked where your family was from, it's always like, oh, Carolinas. I was just
Yeah.
waiting for Carolina, Alabama,
Hmm.
Mississippi. But let's just dive more into like his experience in farming and what you've been
Yeah.
able to glean from him.
I love that. Because yeah, I really do think he's still my teacher. But we started at the same time. We both got into farming in like I think 2018, and I was still in school, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be my side gig. I'll be like farm manager, and he was studying like crazy, like every night. This man has a weird sleep schedule. I don't think he really does sleep. It's naps. But he is just like from who we study, like Curtis Stone, names I cannot remember because I'm on the spot, but Never Sing Farm. Even from his own health journey, so of what he knows about food. He looked at Dr. Sabi, a bunch of different health gurus and professionals as well, but taking all that knowledge into how he wants to grow his food and grow intensively, but also like to feed people, and not just like make a profit, but we also need that too. So
Say that again.
we need we need to make a profit for sure. We started in our backyard and we were on a hill, and it's not just a tiny slope. Like it feels like a climb sometimes, and it wasn't super huge. We had about 17, maybe 12 beds, 50-foot beds. That might even be a stretch, but we used to use some like implements, and we used to use things like BT, which we didn't want to, but at the same time, a cabbage moth, like she's got to go. And so a lot of my trials at that time was going to hand pick those off the collards, but I don't know. Journey from learning from him. It's still today, to this day, I'm still learning from him, even though I feel like he gives me that space and grace to exist and just like live my life. Like, I'm like, Dad, I want to go up north and like, or I want to go to Florida. He's like, go, yeah, I'll take care of it. It's fine. And I'm like, all right, beautiful. But I had to work my way to like, I feel like him to let me live. I feel like a little bit. So,
Well, that's great. It's so like when I met your dad, like you can tell me that this man wasn't into farming for like 20 years. Like
yeah,
it
you
was
never know.
steeped into his soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So it's interesting that you both started at the same time. And I'm like, yo, you lived another life as a farmer. Like
he
you
sure
you
did.
had
Yeah,
to.
he's lived many lives because he was a musician before I was born and when I was born. Yeah.
Wow.
And then he went into IT. He worked in the public school system, and then he retired and was like, I'm not really retired. And now he's farming.
Oh my goodness. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that so much. Um, what does regenerative farming mean on your farm specifically? And speaking to the soil first approach that you
Yeah.
guys take.
For us, I feel like our method in regenerative farming is ever evolving. Where we could start is where it's always giving back to the land, giving back to the soil, making sure that it's vibrant and living, and we're not stripping it from its health, basically. So whether it be like the potassium, sodium, if we're having nutrients in the soil, or even the bugs that live in the soil, we're not taking from that, we're adding to it. Or if we do take, we're always, like I said, returning it. So what that means for us is like we don't spray, we don't till. We've learned we've tilled before. When we first started, we definitely tilled. And as we've continued, it's just like learning and listening to the earth of like, what is it that you need? What is it that you want us to do? How should we do it? And it ended up with minimal then to no tilling. When it comes to like sprays, if there's sprays, it's probably neem oil, something like that, or a soap concoction, literally like soap and water. Not BT, sorry, we don't use that anymore. We use compost tea and compost extract, and we make that from the soil around us, really building from the natural space that's around us, what already exists, and taking some soil or some tree bark or like some leaves or whatever, and adding that in with the soil we have that's like in our bed, and then brewing that or just making it a short version like the extract, and spraying that on our soil and then on our plants. So that's soil first approach is making sure that it's really living with the microbes, and microbes are in there. What does that look like? A healthy biome, just like our gut. So we're making sure that that's existing, so then that the defense system, just like our stomachs and just like our whole body and immune system, it's able to fight like pests. It gives off like not necessarily pheromones, but something of the sort where it's like a bug wouldn't necessarily want to eat that anymore, or it affects the bug's digestive system, and then they end up dying, which is great sometimes. I mean, I keep thinking of the cabbage moth, and I'm like, they need to go. They need to go. So, yeah.
Get them out of there. Now, when I started my discovery into this space and when I learned more about regenerative farming, it was no till, no till, no till. And I never really, not from memory, I don't remember like really diving into like why the no till. Is it that it's just super disruptive to the ecosystem, like underneath like all the party that's happening, the good party that's happening?
Yeah, I would say so. For one, can also bring up weeds. And some
Ooh.
people, it doesn't matter because they're putting landscape fabric down. But for us, like we're consistently thinking about also the workload we have. Like we're not about to till and bring up weeds from 10 years ago who've been waiting for this moment. And so we avoid that. And then also, yeah, the microbes that live in that soil, when we're tilling, like you're chopping them up. And so there's space.
Okay.
Yeah, I do feel like there is space, and I'm still understanding of those who are not, I don't want to say people, but like there is space and understanding for that method. So you could till and then replenish that soil and spray with like a compost tea or compost extract and do that and make sure you're doing other things to help revitalize that soil. But I like to avoid it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you mentioned some of the methods that you all do for pest control. And I know with regenerative farming, because you're not using the sprays, and thank God you're not, because it's disruptive to the entire ecosystem. But I'm sure there are moments, and I don't know, maybe you guys gotten to a point of perfection, right? Or I don't even know, does perfection exist? No. Of like, damn, like this crop right here is done. Like the pesting got to this. And so how, like, I guess even mentally, like how do you even manage that? Because all of this hard work that you put into your crop, and it's just the name of the game too, right? As being a farmer, and wanting to stick to your regenerative practices and grateful that you are because it's contributing to, even though the climate is a little crazy, but farmers do contribute to uplifting a healthier climate with through regenerative practices. But like how do you manage the emotions in addition just to continue manage the pest control? Are there new methods that you are trying to concoct, or you're just like going back off of learned experiences from other farmers? Or I know your dad is always deep into the research, but how do you continue to manage that? And are there just like new ways that you or new methods or concoctions that you guys blend together to manage the pests?
All of the above. Yeah. I feel like there's never one sole source for any of it. Definitely like just leaning on each other. Sometimes we forget what we've done in the past, and like that is truly sometimes the fix. And we often take notes and have like a little inventory of like just a journal basically. And so it's very helpful to be able to like go back and just literally type in your notes like pests and like see what comes up. In terms of like concoctions we've made, yeah, last year we had a really bad bout with like one of those beetles. I can't remember the name of it. I'm kind of glad I can't remember because I don't want to be triggered.
Sorry.
Yeah, but it's got an orange back with some spots. They're super smart, and they're honestly to me very funny. They've got like, because they know when you're coming. They literally, your hand could be hovering over them, and they just fall off, or they go to the other side, and it's like, wow, okay, so you know. But like just to watch them is great, but also they're tearing up your plant. But for them, like if you squish them, they release kind of like what's it called? They're the beetles that with stink bugs. They're kind of like stink bugs where if you squish them, they send out like a pheromone or hormone that attracts more. And so we avoid squishing them, but we use a soap and water. Like literally that's it. And you can watch them just become slowly like paralyzed and fall and they die. And I'm like, I love this because it took so much. It was like either we fling them away or like try and put them in like a bucket of soap and water and like dunk them. But no, we just got our sprayer and we just spray it and they're gone. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh my goodness. Is there well, and I think I know what your answer is going to be. You actually already answered it. Any remorse ever of like watching, the bugs like
like,
Transition on.
not for the ones that really tear up your stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the cabbage moth, no. Like squishing them a little bit, yes, a little bit. But like, no. Because like, what are you doing here? I get it, but also like find something else, please.
Yeah.
So it's really, I think it's also very overwhelming sometimes when you have a large like field of crop and you're trying to yield a good amount and everything's getting torn up. But the other method we have is like, honestly, you still have the plant and it's still viable in some capacity. I will strip down like a collard plant. I'll strip it down, all the leaves that are like really eaten up because it's taking energy from that plant to make new. So I'll take those off and then I'll wait. And sometimes we move in a very fast pace because we do a lot of quick greens and salad greens so that we don't, from that mindset, going to a collard or like a patch where it's like, oh, we're going to wait on this. It's usually like, nah, we can't wait. I'm like, no, because I don't feel like planting new ones, quite frankly. So I'll wait, I may cover it. And then by last year, by fall, our collards had revitalized and they were doing so well. And I was like, good. So from there, every year when we are maybe moving too slow or we've missed something and there's a pest that comes, we can just refer back to that and strip it down, give it some time, and it'll come back.
I'll stand in solidarity with you with these bugs just like slowly.
I appreciate that.
It's already hard work, so I can't.
Yeah.
And I think it's also like, it's like the bugs are like, y'all in my territory.
Yeah,
and then
pretty
like
much.
the ones that know that you're coming is like you can't play a player, so like don't.
Truly, they really are. Yeah.
That's actually what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Let's go through some of the produce that you grow. I mean, I kind of gave y'all a snippet because I was bragging about, like the greens and stuff. And I know that, but yeah, let's give folks a snippet of what you do grow, like what your specialty crops are.
Oh man. Okay. So let's see. One of our specialties is collards. We grow a couple different varieties, but it really doesn't matter to me as long as I think they're cute.
A green is a green as long as it's good.
Yeah, exactly. And as long as they're good. The kale, we grow a couple different varieties. We do a baby kale mix. We also have some mature kale. And I love color. Like, it's necessary. So, your standard curly kale, but then also like a scarlet or like a dino kale that has the purple vein in the middle. I like to call that one blue magic.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then, so y'all love our spinach. That is.
Love the spinach down, y'all.
She really is good. I like to call that one arrowhead. That's not the actual name, but it grows like an arrow. And
it does have a unique shape. It really does. It's like very fine, like at the tip.
Yeah.
So, oh my, come on. For the vocabulary.
Yeah, I like to name my varieties based on how they're looking, or like the original name. We have a spinach, it's red tabby, but it's a red veined spinach.
Oh.
And I just call her, I think that her real name's Red Tabby, but Tabitha is her government name.
I love that.
Yeah. Let's see. A lot of salad mixes. We really love lettuce. And I'm a big fan. Your mom was talking about liking softer textured lettuces, which I hadn't heard before.
She loves butter lettuce.
Yeah.
She loves butter lettuce.
So
it's like her favorite lettuce.
I learned from her. So now I'm taking that into my inventory and thinking like when I try our different lettuces, I'm like, okay, this one's more of a crunchier texture, XYZ. And I use that when I go to market and I'm talking to the customers. So shout out to your mom.
Oh, she listening, or she will be listening. And you know what? She always makes this comment of, and the thing is like, as you get older, now I'm resonating with her. And she's like, she loves a butter lettuce because it's soft. She doesn't like lettuce that you have to, or any sort of like green that you have to like keep chewing and chewing and chewing. And like, part of that too is like going to a great farmer who grows it and it's like tender and great, right? But for some people who may have partials and not trying to put people's business out, like it just really is a real thing.
No,
and
yeah.
like even when I, there's some like mostly I get my my salads from farmers, but there are a couple bag salads that I really do like that I'll purchase. And it's some of the chewing I just can't. So like it really is kind of like a lifestyle thing too. Like she loves it, but she's just like, I can't be chewing down on like tough lettuce. Like it ruins the food experience.
It does, yeah.
And it's something that I actually wish that like some chefs would take into account in terms of like how you experience food.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother
No,
conversation. But
speak
shout out
on
to
it
the amazing
though.
chefs though, but it's like, y'all.
I think that's insight that they would want to know. Maybe not in the moment, 'cause it's like, get out of my kitchen.
Right, of
But
course,
like,
of course.
but no, yeah, those are things that to me as a farmer, that matter to, I would think would matter to a chef. And I would speak on because sometimes they are trying to create a certain experience, at least in fine dining. And that's apparently where my tourist head lives, is fine
I know
dining.
that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's like, yeah, that's good to know. And like as a dietitian, I also think about those same things you were talking about, like quality of life and like lifestyle. What's impacting someone from eating these foods? Is it like their teeth or is it just digestion? Like this is too hard on my
Yes.
stomach. Yeah. So
I love that. Yeah. Okay. My mom's gonna be super excited. Hey, mom. So as a dietitian, and let me pause because when we came to your farm and we made some purchases, I love your little tagline of what is it like recommended or something like from your favorite dietitian or something. You
oh
make a
yeah.
reference. You make a dietitian like reference on the receipt, and
Yeah.
I loved it. I pay attention to small details like
I'm glad
that.
because I forgot what I've done. Yeah.
If I can pull it up, I will. But I love that. But you know what? To me, it was affirming. Like it was like you and you guys you wouldn't like you're in the farm. Like you're selling your crops, you're growing crops, right? And so for me, when I look at that, it's the tiny details that are big details. So for me, I feel like that's affirming. I'm just like, and this is grown by a dietitian too. Like I felt like I'm doing a great job,
Yay. I love that.
That's what I walked away with. So, you'd be amazed, like those small details that are actually really big. So I had to just shout that out. But as a dietitian, and you kind of spoke to this before, but like, how does your understanding of nutrition influence the way you care for the soil and grow food?
Um, in so many ways. It's not just about like the nutrition of like the food or of the person itself and like what they're eating, but holistically, like everything. So we're thinking about where they're coming from culturally, environmentally, behaviorally. All these things make up one's health. And that's what we're taught too, but it's very important to like be thinking of that when you're growing food, when you're selling the food, when you're interacting with the person. So that's where, and also just my personality being a little like witty and quippy, like that's where those little things come from, of like from your favorite dietitian. I didn't think about, well, it's good to hear that it has that impact because that's exactly what helps people create that positive or neutral relationship with food, which is what I really want for people. It influences, I think, yeah, how I get to explain food to people, what I choose to grow is heavily based on the dietitian in me and making sure there's color, making sure, because those are things that for people, when they're associating like foods, they don't always think what color means what mineral or vitamin. And so I'm playing into, okay, I want like a bright green, but also a darker green. I want reds and greens. I want purple broccoli because these things have different impacts on our health. They may have more antioxidants in the purple, which they do. And then being able to share that with people when they ask like, what's the difference? And I'm like, well, the color, sure, but let me tell you something else. And so it just gives them a little chance to learn something more. So it's just broadening people's understanding and
Yeah.
like in a really cool, fun way.
Yeah. Okay. So I pulled up the receipt, y'all, because I had to. So actually, okay, so the top line, because we got y'all, I got spinach, spring mix. We walked away with everything. Collards, herb bunch. Okay, so it said a mix of mild tasting green and red, vine, loose. Everything that Kayla just spoke to. She's not playing. She loves her color. Loose leaf spinach. Good source of potassium, vitamin C, and A, folate, and fiber. It says dietitian approved. That's what it said.
Yes, y'all.
And I said, I know that's right when I looked at the receipt.
This is so good to know because I haven't put that on every single one. I was like, am I doing too much? But this is like what it is, truly. But I'm like, I definitely need to go back and make sure every single item has that.
Very simple. I loved
Yeah.
it. I absolutely loved it. That is awesome. What are some common to you misconceptions that people have about healthy eating that you hope to correct through your work on the farm and in nutrition? She's like, I can write a
I
scroll.
really could. Like we could be here all day. It's that it's not gonna taste good or it's more expensive, which I mean it's 50-50 on that. But you just gotta know how to work with what you got.
Well, look at the grocery prices now, y'all. You'll think twice.
I mean, I haven't been, so please tell me what's going on there.
Tortilla chips are $7.
Okay, I have seen that. Wow, yeah. And honestly, it makes you want to stay like, okay, how can I make my own
No.
food?
Do you know I'm like, I'm gonna be making everything. And I mean everything. Everything. I have so many TikTok videos saved on like making my own
Good.
tortillas and everything. Y'all, it's about to go down.
Yes, please. It's not too hard. It's a little bit of time, but honestly, how I like to think about it is like the mindful aspect of like our health as well. Like sometimes we need to slow down. We're on the go all the time. One of my farm workers, Amani, shout out to you, reminds me of this all the time. Like we're so used to like just everything being immediate for us. And also for our nervous systems, like we're always on go, but to help calm ourselves and like be more of like a less of a fight or flight, more just it's a sympathetic I can't remember y'all.
Parasympathetic or something like that. But I got you. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
And just like kind of calm down a bit and relax is helpful to, actually cook or actually make those things you would normally buy. That's one of those methods you can do that. Less phone time, more reading, even if it's just 5 pages. I don't really care. Something. But yeah, the aspect of this recession puts us back in the kitchen a little bit and it's really good. And you get a chance to explore and have some fun and just relax a bit. So,
I had a call yesterday and my friend was asking, actually my coworker, but friend, he's really great. He was like, Melissa, he wanted me, I was vegan at one point years ago. Ain't vegan no more. I have no interest in going vegan. And so he was like, do you know how to cook? And I paused because when someone asks me, do I know how to cook? I think of like my big mom, my grandmother, who can like throw down in the kitchen, make all their cakes from scratch, like like they can do everything from scratch, right? I'm like, I did not inherit those skills. I just did not. Families from Mississippi, right? But I walked them through like my journey of like when I wasn't eating like chicken, beef, or pork, and when I was like straight vegan, and when I went back to vegetarian, and now like I still don't eat chicken, beef, or pork, but I love seafood. But I'm very particular about where I get it from, and so what I shared with him, I said, I can prepare like really great meals. I feel like saying that I'm a great cook, and it always, again, I always think back to like my lineage, but I said I am my best when I have farm fresh ingredients that I am making food, with like I love to make a stew. I love to start off with a tomato base. I love herbs. I said that is like I'm at my best, like when I'm cooking, when I have all my stuff like has just like come from a farm.
yeah.
And that just
Yeah.
is what it is. Like, and I can just get super creative, And so, and I might not know what I'm doing, but I'm like, I can whip up a marinade, like I love salads. But I'm like, I am at my best when my food has literally come a mile down the road for me, So I be in there. So I feel that.
Yeah, I feel like that's the tagline right there. Like, think about what makes you feel your best in the kitchen. If you're not feeling that, then something's got to change. But like, whatever it is, bring it into the kitchen with you then.
I love that.
Yeah.
I do. And you're right. Like, it is a time, especially during these very crazy times, to, you know, think about the things that do calm your body. And and food for me, it's always going to be that. And it just brings me so much joy to cook with local ingredients and know and feel good about what I'm consuming in my body. Like you don't understand. Like I geek out about y'all to my friends. Like I send photos. My best friend be like, "What is that Garden of Eden lunch that you're eating today?" Like
I
he
love that.
always. And so it does. Like I get so hyped that I can get to hype y'all up because I be so pressed when I send my meals to my friends and I'm like, and this rice came around the corner. And what?
Yeah, I will say you hold us down. Like, there's a lot of people I've met through you, like who I'm still working with to this day and still have
That's
connection
awesome.
with. Yeah, so thank you.
Of course, of course. What is next? What is next for Konterra? I know it's a lot going on, and this is a busy season. But like, what is the bigger dream? Like, what do you aspire for Konterra Life Farm?
Whoa. What do I aspire for us? I feel like it may transition a bit. Definitely still to be a place where people can come and like learn and learning even of themselves. I don't necessarily have to be teaching you directly, but whether you're learning about just, oh, like this is how like shade works with this is so dumb. But like the sun and shade and how it impacts the plant, or even just like, oh, this lettuce is, crunchier than the other. I don't really care, but just be a place to like connect with the earth and just be yourself, relax. And like that's all I really want. And then on top of that, I like to throw a little event here and there. So
Okay. You
just
do.
yeah, it's like it's very seldom. Like you're like, so what have you done this year? I'm like, nothing. Honestly, nothing. But yeah, eventually have one of those. And what's in the future? Farm to table, but like a restaurant. It may not be mine, but I see myself kind of venturing more into that space. I love people, and that's where the dietitian aspect will come in, where I'm working more with clients. But I also really, really love like chefs and those who are like the other artists, and trying to curate what we're growing and how we're growing it for the style that they want it. It's like a challenge that like I really enjoy. Yeah, so that's what I see in our future.
I look forward to it. I do. And they do like to throw a party or have a little fun situation here and there. Like you've had some DJs out on the farm.
Yeah.
You had your farm stand up a couple weekends ago. So I'm looking forward to the next one, when it's up.
Yeah, yeah. If not there, somewhere else. I think I
Yeah.
still want to host something and like, but I don't know. Maybe it's at a different farm, and I'm just helping like curate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. So if folks want your spinach, if they want your collards, where like how can they tap
How
in?
can you find me? So it's a long road that you
Y'all
take
gotta
a
get through
right.
me and then I no,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's fine with me. You can find me on Instagram at Konterra Life. If I'm not, because my farm hours are a little bit like, people ask all the time, like, it's on the way. Like, you'll find out soon. Just ask me, like, look, I want this. How can I get it? And I'll be like, come tomorrow. I'll have it.
I'll have it.
Yeah.
That when I tell you it's good to have Farmer Connect, just tell me to roll up, pull
Because
up.
honestly, what else am I doing besides servicing you all on a whim?
You know what? I have one very last important question before we wrap up, and this is more so for me, but I think you guys will find value in this. So, because I'm super obsessed with hyper local farm fresh food, like obsessed, right? I'm like, and like this season, this is the poppin' season. Like, soon as spring hits and summer is here, like it's poppin'. And so I want to bottle this up for year round. Like I envision, Kayla, literally, I don't know, my parents are probably gonna turning their basement because I ain't got a room in my place, into like some sort of like farm shelf of like all my canned food, all my goods for a multitude of reasons, y'all. Like 6 months from now, I don't know what grocery store is gonna be looking like.
Yeah.
It might be pandemic all over again. Like y'all were doing it during the pandemic. Like people were going, like they really had no choice, Like I was happy for the farmers during the pandemic. But I want to be able to bottle up my stuff or can my stuff for like the year round. Like, are there any recommendations on how to do that? Like, but also the thing is that like when I cook my greens, I want to eat them right then and there. So it's also like,
Got you. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I would say, okay, let's say for the greens that can be frozen, like your kale, your collards, your spinach, do that. Buy in bulk. I love a person buying in bulk. I really do. So yeah, buy it in bulk and then cut some up, prep it, and then freeze it, and it's good. I don't know how long I would say, I can't remember, but like we've had stuff for over a year as long as it doesn't get freezer burn.
Okay.
But if you're willing to risk it for that,
Okay.
I'm not gonna recommend it.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna not.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
But freezing is a great technique. All you need is a Ziploc bag and just write the date.
okay.
Yeah.
What about canning?
Canning. See, now I don't can.
Well, yeah, because
but
you're doing more so like greens and stuff too. So okay.
I would love to know, but there is other places, there's other programs, communities, and other farmers actually who do can or have programs where you can learn how to can.
Okay.
I definitely go for that. I think you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. TikTok's got it.
They
Like
do.
on lock. They really do. So just need a canning, like what? A pot, a deep pot, and then some mason jars, little tongs to pick them up, and then some brine maybe. Yeah, that's all I got.
I'm be freezing greens, y'all, because I need that flavor year
A
round.
dehydrator.
True.
Yeah, at
I
least
like a
for
lot
your
of stuff
herbs.
though. I just,
Yeah, it is a lot
but
of
that is
stuff.
true. You know what? No, I haven't heard dehydrator mention it in a minute. I actually think my mom has one. Now that I think about it,
I got one,
you.
so, but just ask for it. Yeah,
I love it. Kayla, it's been a joy to talk
it
to you. Oh
has.
my goodness, y'all. I got to learn more about Kayla up close and personal. We've met before, but this is our first in-person conversation. So glad to have you on the show. I'm super excited for whenever you pull it out or whenever I can pull up Kayla. Like, just let me know because the
I love that.
greens are fire. The spinach, fire, y'all.
Thank
So
you.
you know where to find Konterra Life Farm. If not, y'all can hit me up. I will certainly pass you guys on over to Kayla. But thank you so much again. Shout out to your dad. We got to acknowledge your dad too,
Yeah.
because he's a large part of this. And we probably should have invited him to the show, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if he would have shown up. He isn't really, when you get him there, it's great, but it's hard to. So,
Maybe we got to do this on the farm. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Peace. Thank you for listening to Edible Activists. You can find today's episode on Spotify, iTunes, and Simplecast, and follow along on all social media platforms at Edible Activists for updates. Want to support this platform? You can do so by purchasing our commerce or connecting with me about media partnerships at www.edibleactivist.com. In the words of Baba Tariq Adunu, there is no culture without agriculture. Peace.